Attention, passengers. This is your co-pilot speaking. Your pilot is black-minded, so you are not going blind and there is no power failure. You are merely experiencing the immense blackness of his proximity, and when you hear his voice, you and the cabin will get even darker than you are currently. We will be cruising at the speed equal to light because the one other thing that travels equally fast is darkness. Your loved ones awaiting your arrival may not recognize you at first sight. This is normal. Simply tell them about the pilot and they will understand. We will taxi to the runway now, so please buckle up and prepare for a high-speed departure. Thank you for choosing Jet Black Airways, where the phrase Jet Black is also a verb. We hope you keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Justice forever.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. First, let me give a shout out to Gail at Night for coming through on the Cash App, MLR for coming through on the Cash App, and Black Treon. Also, for some of you that like to support internationally, I'll just go ahead and state it. My PayPal is now the same as my email address, jet.black.core@gmail.com. But you know what? I'd much rather, for some of you, I'd much rather you go to that link and get this Young Brothers merchandise. If you did that and you wanted to support both of us, then you can get some of the merchandise he sells with the Black Mind logo on it. That would financially support him, and it would just get the word out about me. And people say, well, who's that? YouTuber, SYSBM man, or an SYSB man, lives in Saudi, talks about the black gender war, being black in Saudi, and even black Saudis. And he's got a Black Treon, and he's got Odyssey if you just want to download individual videos, and he's got YouTube. And now I'm on the Passport Bros app. And I think you should follow. I put a link to the Passport Bros app on my community tab. So yeah, go ahead and hit that up too. I'll tell you guys something about chastity and about options. I'm very proud of you, brothers, because even many of you that are not Passport Bros or SYSBM have decided to be more disciplined with your Johnsons, young and old alike. And so women can't just throw it back on you and get some. I mean, they can't just throw it at you and get some. And some of these young brothers, even in their teens, are not letting these old biddies in their 20s and 30s and above throw it at them. And they're like, nah. Some of these foolish old niggas are starting to really sound foolish because they're starting to say to these young bloods, or in response to these young bloods, you sensitive, you ain't no real man. Why would you tell on her? I would have took that. Well, yeah, but you're an idiot. I mean, I get it, testosterone and all, but you would have taken that. Do you not stop to think about what that's going to do? You're the reason the dudes get robbed easily. You're the reason that women can be used to set dudes up for robbery. Can you set a woman up to be robbed by using a dude as bait? Bruh, women who are horny won't let you do that just because of arrogance and ego. And we got old niggas still stupid enough to tell young bloods to make it that easy for women to rob you. And the dudes they with to rob you. No, that's some shuck fit. I remember seeing a Jamaican artist do a music video And I think the music video was set in the setting of it was the Brazilian carnival. So this woman in a costume was walking by in what's either a favela or a garrison. And she beckons him over with the finger, and he's walking up, and they all start singing and dancing. But I was like, you know what? That's not how this works, bro. She's walking off and beckoning you over, and you walk up to her, and she goes on the side of a building. Dummy, that's where they waiting to jack you. In real life, ain't no singing and dancing gonna break out. No, it's you got a gun to your face, a machete at your neck, and they going through your pockets, and they say, if you move, we gonna shoot and decapitate you, ninja. And she's sitting there looking at you with a smirk. That's how this works. So I'm glad these young brothers are starting to say, you know what, I'm not going to sit up and be a sitting duck. Even if I like women and I'm straight, that doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and let them do these robberies. Good. It's more than just robberies, though. You got them sitting up and saying, I'm not going to let them get child support out of me. I'm not going to let them demand a relationship and then they cheat. I'm not going to fall for any of the foolishness. Now, granted, I do think that someone is going to come along and try to convince these young brothers who have taken that sexually responsible route and then try to convince them to go the other direction, which is all sorts of deviance, especially with each other. I think someone will try it. I doubt they'll succeed, though. And like y'all know me, I believe that there's a devil. So I think that some of the enemies will try it and some demons will try to spread this message too. But I don't think they'll succeed. I think a lot of these young brothers will say, just because I'm not sitting up here waiting desperately for some lady to come and take it doesn't mean that I'm sitting up here waiting on a dude either. No. So no, I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all that. But I am saying that your ability to start declining and turning down is noteworthy. And there's one other thing I want you to realize. Chastity is doing that same thing, but for a different reason. Once you get used to making the right decision, when you change your reason for that decision, because the new reason is better, you have improved, matured, grown, and everything else. You will be doing the right thing when you finally one day look and say, I'm going to continue declining. I ain't going to pursue it. I'm going to decline when it's offered on the wrong terms because the terms are wrong. Some say, and the thing is, I'm not preaching celibacy either because it doesn't work. It's not that I'm not preaching the other extreme of celibacy. What I am preaching is actually chastity, which is different. Chastity becomes easy when you realize you have options, and many of you may not understand, but you do have options. If you can travel, you have options. You can travel eventually. The other thing I want you to understand is that you have professional options at times more than what you think. Some people have said, well, if you go to the Middle East, they want the white-skinned, blonde-haired, blue-eyed English teachers, not you. Well, I don't know about every country in the Middle East, but I know mother cuss word well that in the Gulf, that ain't what they're doing. Matter of fact, a lot of these cats that are in the Gulf and want an English teacher tend to light up if it's a Black American English teacher. That is the case. Hell, when it comes to healthcare, they're starting to prefer doctors from Nigeria, Uganda, and Sudan. Stop and think about that. When it comes down, they're starting to look at the Egyptian, also from Africa, but not proud to be African. They're starting to look at them and say, no, you don't really care about your job. You just want the salary. You don't like what you're doing. if I killed over and died, you would just say, well, it was the will of Allah, pay me my salary. No, F you. No joke. You can go in for a viral infection of some sort. They'll prescribe for you an antibiotic. For some of you who are not medical professionals, I don't have to tell you why that's stupid. I mean, it will sit there and literally know what you're dealing with, not tell you what it is, and then prescribe for you something that doesn't work. That's what they do. I'm like, you mother cuss words. They don't listen either. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Arabs in general are pretty piss poor listeners, especially the men, especially men. Oh my God, they're such bad listeners a lot of times. But the Egyptian doctor that joined because he just wants the salary and doesn't care anything about the field itself is one of the worst listeners on the planet. That nigga don't give a guck. All he's gonna do, check your temperature, listen to your heart. Might ask you one or two questions. And when you start to really explain things, he goes, khalas, 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 khalas. That means enough, 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 enough. How you going to sit up and say enough and somebody telling you their symptoms that you need to know to treat the disease? They'll do that. Write a prescription. Take this to the pharmacy. Yeah. So people are getting sick and tired of them. They've been getting tired of them for years, actually. So people are now getting just sick and tired of these folks. And they're starting to look for brothers and sisters to be doing a lot of their stuff. Oh, yeah. They're starting to look for that now. So when it comes to teaching English, they're looking for the Black Brit and the Black American mostly. South African. Yeah, they're looking for us. So when you realize that even professionally, you have options here you would not have there. And it's even better in Thailand because in Thailand, you don't get students that come to you with no English at all asking you to teach them. That's not what you're getting. Here, some students, they don't speak, they don't know anything in English. They're supposed to. They took it in school for many years. They're coming to you, but by the time they're 16, they're supposed to have a foundation and it's usable. And they're coming up to you at 23. Don't know nothing. They got to get somebody to translate just to tell you that they want you to teach them English. And you're like, I can't. You got a translator. Why are you not asking a translator? He's pretty good. No, he's an Arab. So this Arab's good enough to translate you bothering me, but he ain't good enough to teach you the basics before you get to me. Yeah, I kid you not. That's what you deal with. And sometimes they come straight to you, the brother. You might be talking to a Canadian. White Canadian. They don't know he's Canadian. And that's because they've dealt with some of the arrogance from some of these white guys. You're American, you're Canadian, you're British, but they don't see you as being arrogant per se. So they're willing to give you a shot. They're like, yeah, man, look, I teach me. I kid you not. Look, sometimes I'm jumping in these rideshare cars, and if my wife is with me and they realize I'm black too, hey, can you teach me English? Blood clot. I don't even live here, man. I live in another city, bro. And they're like, well, you need to do it online. Okay. Now, I would do that and take the money. The problem is that after a while, they might try to get out of paying. Depends on who they are and the time. I don't really get that kind of time. But what I'm saying is you got options. You're sought after here. That's what I'm saying. And you black, whether you're a Westerner or not, they're going to be women here trying to get at you. Now, they'll be trying to get at you for marriage, or they'll be trying to get at you for them draws. Don't take the second one without the first, because that is still illegal. But they're going to be trying to get at you. What that means is you got options, man. And that should make male chastity even easier. So when I told everybody what the solution was for black people, I didn't expect you to take my word for it. But I said to you that as evidence showed itself, I would say something about it. Well, this is evidence that you have shown. You, the young black male, has shown that you are capable of the decisions made by the chaste man. All you need is another reason for making these right, wise, moral decisions. That's it. And you good. I hope that what I've said has been a benefit to you. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, black heterosexual, non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction of Judgment Day. Thank you again for flying with us here on Jet Black Airways, with Jet Black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender, justice, forever.